Okay, I'll start the meeting of the Park Trails and Recreation Committee. Town of St. Joseph, St. Croix County, July 17th, 6:02 PM. Hereby provided a written notice and the agenda of the public meeting as stated below. There's an opportunity for public comments as noted on the agenda and upon recognition by the presiding officer. Roll call, as Pat said, I think everyone's here. And we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh. Carrie's calling. Sorry, I couldn't find the password for the Zoom, but I got it. Okay. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
I will make a
Right.
motion to adopt the agenda. of
Okay,
July 17.
okay, Nina. And, okay. Tammy seconds it. Any discussion? I told Nina I'd make sure she's on first, but I think you are anyway. Pretty much, so. Okay, if no more discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. That carries. Approval of prior meeting minutes from June 26th. Pat emailed that to us today. Did everybody receive it and have a chance to look at it?
Yes, I do.
Okay, is there any corrections or any
No.
changes?
I will make a motion to approve the minutes from June 26, 2024.
Okay, I'll second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, that carries. Upcoming meetings and events, Technology Committee meeting on the 30th, Public Works, August 6th, Plan Commission, August 7th, Town Board, August 8th. And I don't think it should that be on the phone. I mean, it must be, but I. Yeah, because I don't know. I don't know. It's the third time. Okay, I'll. I think maybe somebody.
Then we should turn on our speakerphones.
Oh, I had mine on.
There's something wrong with them. Like every 22 minutes or something, they turn off. So they haven't, unless they figured it out. So if you see it go red, it's not your fault.
Okay.
Yeah, because when I was talking into it earlier, I didn't.
So you
do it.
just,
Okay, yeah, it's easy if we just keep them on. I
At
think,
least it's
except,
consistent.
yeah, exactly.
oh,
Okay, public comment. I guess the one thing I was gonna bring up will be under committee meetings. So I guess I can wait for that. One thing is what I will do, I have on my list to do is write some thank you notes to the Faith Works. People who came out to volunteer to do the work out here. I'll send a thank you from all of us.
Yeah, that's good.
I meant to bring that up last time and I didn't. Anything else? Anybody else have anything for public comment?
I did get a call from resident and they were concerned, that was on Sunday. And they were concerned that they wanted to make sure that like one of us had gone out by Perch Lake to see the amount of people that were out there. But I did try to call people, but I couldn't get anybody that was actually in town. You were up north. You were, Minong, I was up north. Nina, I tried to call you a couple times, but we were having trouble connecting.
You must not have my number. I don't
And
remember.
were you in town, Tammy?
Over the holiday?
Or last weekend? This
Yes.
past weekend? Okay.
Yes. sorry.
Next time I'll call you
Okay,
first.
all right. Good excuse to get out there.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're all very aware that there are parking problems, and especially when we have hot days, and it was hot this weekend. But I did try to get a hold of people.
And it was really bad on both days, but
Yeah,
the town board at the last town board meeting voted to post no parking all the way from County Road E all the way to 60th Street. And the only thing we're waiting on is we were gonna ask the county if they'll share with us the cost of the signs, because it's to their benefit also that we do this.
Sure.
So, and I think we're gonna try to use those little county signs that say for tollway zone or something like that with arrows or something like that, just because they're not so huge, you know? And they'll probably be up in the next week or two, so.
okay,
Cause
Yeah.
other than that, I don't know what I would have done or what any of us would do.
I think it was
you
more
know.
just to get an idea of what is really happening there, but I think all of us have probably seen those situations over
Yeah.
the years.
Yes.
With the amount of parking, probably not as bad as it's been the last 2 years with the
Yeah, 'cause
high
I know it
water
was
and the
bad
St.
last year.
Croix. And what was the situation last year with the St. Croix?
They had some kind of a bug going on.
Bacteria.
Bacteria.
Oh, the
I think
bacteria
somebody else
thing, yeah,
going
so there was
to
a
it.
bacteria last year, and then this year it was just a
Just
high
high
water,
water.
so.
Yeah.
So we've had some crazy, times, but there also has been times prior to this that we've had really high numbers too, so.
Does I don't think they do this, but does the county park then post if they're full? So you can go on the website before arriving. That might be helpful, because when I was there on the July 3rd, we had to wait one car in, one car out. Right, which was useful to know how fast it was going, like the guy that was taking our number said it's been about approximately this much of a wait per car. He was really accurate. Like, that would be really helpful for people going to say, I may not go because I know it's so crowded, or I know what the wait line is, and it might maybe deter a few people from coming already knowing if the park's full, but once you're there, you might just, park, but that might
Yeah.
be something to suggest if they don't do that. But
Yeah,
I don't
we
know if we
could
can suggest that.
Contact the county and just see what's going on, how they're handling it or whatever, so that we know how they're handling it, and so we can tell people.
What to do, yeah, and again, maybe, again, I don't know what we do, because so I guess maybe I'll go back to that question, the fact that, what, did we just want to know it was busy? When you were calling, trying to get people to look us from the,
I think the person that called just wanted us to be real aware that this is a problem, that fire trucks are not gonna be able to get through, that's the bigger deal. Can emergency vehicles get through when cars are parked all the way up to 60th Street and all the way out to County Road E?
okay, so that manifests in these signs you're talking about versus anything we can control at the time, because it's not like we would personally ask people to leave, right?
Well,
So it's just more about,
exactly,
okay. so,
yeah.
no.
I don't think there's any warning we could have here. These things punch up so quick. The county could not get a hold of us to tell us there's a problem. They can't accept anymore. That parking lot fills up so damn fast. We don't. even-
Yeah, it does
so
fill up fast.
Really, it's trouble to have I don't know how we could have a warning sign. Or we could-
Or you were saying maybe.
I
the
would
county
think
Yeah,
needed
but
to
they
mention
have
the
the
park
web, so
itself.
they look ahead of time to see if there's parking available or no parking available, kind of thing.
Yeah, that would be nice, and
Yeah.
they probably can't police our lot, but even knowing if their park's full, it probably is indicative of if our lot's full, right? But they were really accurate, like I said, knowing, oh, we've got about this much cars, it's gonna take this many minutes to get in. To have those two facts on the website before you go, I
Yeah,
think would be helpful, and maybe get people not parking the wrong spot or not being there. But again, they may not be willing to say if our lot's full or not and post that same thing.
yeah. But I probably wouldn't hurt just for us to call and say, do you do this? Is this something that you currently do or would think about doing?
Yeah. So,
If we got people used to looking at the web page. Or they want to.
yeah, might be.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
Or
they have
drive 'em.
do they have like a Facebook page or something where they could post
Yeah,
it?
that's a
Yeah.
good point. Maybe
Yeah.
they do it on that.
I can do that. I'll do that.
Okay,
As for comments for you, I don't think we should mention it once we're talking about the town hall park or before that.
Yeah, we can do it then.
Let me do that then.
Okay, monthly status reports, committee meeting updates. Is there anything that happened at the town board meeting anybody wants to pass on that's not something else on our agenda?
Well, we discussed, Pat and Mark and I went to the town board meeting for the playground, so maybe we should discuss it at that moment,
Sure.
the
Sure.
feedback we got from them.
Yeah, but there wasn't anything else. The one question I have is the bike racks. I think
Well,
that
we
was
just-
on
we
the,
got- Yeah, it was on the agenda for the town board meeting.
yeah,
so
did
we
they
discussed-
discuss it?
Yes.
And what did they say on that? Cause I don't have that on an
So
agenda item.
so the big thing with the bike racks were that they had evidently decided that they were gonna get kind of the snake kind of. The one that goes like this, the bike rack, they knew exactly how much space that would be, what they had to do to put it in the cement. So if we have access to something else, they need to know exactly what size it is. I think they were like a little unclear as to what it means, like a maintenance station, and I tried to explain to them, it's like usually like a pole that you put your bike on with things hanging down, and that's about all it takes is. But they wanna know the exact size of what they could have, so that they know how it's gonna affect how they put in the cement.
Yeah, they
Am I
have to
saying
put the
this
cement.
correctly?
Yeah, and to make sure that it was gonna be something that was gonna save us money also.
Yeah.
That we, that we were gonna get it at a lesser cost than the goofy one.
Yeah,
Did they have a budget? Do they know what
I-
what it was gonna cost? Cause
I wanna say it was like $500 or $600, but I could be wrong, I don't remember,
oh, that was all.
but
Then that's probably not worth there, if that's all it is,
how much, but
right? 5 or
how much,
600?
well, if we were gonna get a
Yeah.
grant, so it wouldn't cost us anything, right? Or-
Yeah, you're right. And the grant would include the bike repair station. They didn't, I hadn't planned for that. If we
Right.
want to do that, I mean, we
Yeah.
don't have to do that. And then the bike rack that the Bike Coalition has is, it's round, blue, and I think they're all blue. So it's not like this, and that's free,
So
right,
I,
Mark?
But what size is it?
well,
They're
that's,
They're
what you guys
individual.
know?
They're individual.
Oh, so you can do as many as you need?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we usually like a lot of like, what's the place in Hudson, they usually just have one. The businesses usually just have one out front that we've done so far.
so they mentioned that the one that they had would hold 6 to 7 bikes. Didn't they
Yeah.
say 6 or 7?
I
So
think it
it's
was-
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7
Yeah,
bikes, I
7.
think.
Okay,
Does
so
it
I think
just-
I would recommend that we have to find out the ones we can get by the coalition,
So
the
there's
size for
1, 2,
one,
3,
and then figure out the size for them, what they had planned to, how big that
4,
is.
5,
And then we need to
6, 7.
include the repair station, because what they're waiting at town board is to know exactly the size for the pavement, the concrete they have to pour by next month, by the next meeting.
You know what?
Okay,
What I've been looking at is basically, the bike rack that the doctor's about having there is about 3 of our bike racks. And, we'd give them 4 bike racks.
yeah, I know that we have plenty.
And, I think about 2 car spaces is about what we're looking for to do whatever the town board would want us to do.
Do you have any sites that have 3 of them installed altogether?
We've got some with 2 installed.
That's what I was gonna suggest, if you can submit pictures.
Pictures and sizes.
Oh, definitely.
Send
And
a, send a
we
picture of
can
that.
definitely do that. I just hadn't done any of that yet, because I didn't even know if they wanted, we needed to know if they were even interested in it.
Yeah,
Doing
I
it.
would say go to them and say, this is what we can provide, and if they want it, they're talking 7 bikes, they already have it in their house, say, this is what could be donated to the town. This is for 7 bikes, they want also to include bike repair station, which I saw one of those over at Park in Stillwater, and I think there's no reason to not have one. And send it, and this is what they want to donate, and it's up to the town board, yes or no, either, and let it go from there.
I think we should do
It might
that.
even be in the.
And you can put
website.
the footprint, they must have all of that already for other people, and I would just I do one little tidy thing and say, here it is, put it on the agenda and they can decide and you can get back to the coalition and say, yes, the town's gonna take it or no, they can't.
If you
So it
give me the
doesn't go on and
information
on.
about the bike rack, some pictures and the sizes, I can print out like I did for the rain garden, send them out so they visually have it and then.
Okay, I have Kyle searching. I know we have pictures. I know I have
Okay,
pictures.
that's
I
fine.
probably even have them on my phone too. I can search for them.
Because we aren't always taking up parking space with these bike racks. We're on the sidewalks.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, usually, isn't it mostly the sidewalk?
Well, didn't they say they wanted on the side?
Yeah, they already have designated space for a bike
Right.
rack.
Yeah, yeah.
They just need to know if they need to make it bigger or smaller, you know?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
okay.
was at Kowalski's today and on the south side of the building, when you go in the front door, they have a loop one, just like the town was showing at their meeting. And it holds 7 bikes. And it's slightly bigger than this area right here, and it's on the side of the building. If you weren't looking for it, you'd walk by 100 times and wouldn't get any attention.
Okay.
Okay, okay, so,
And when I looked, I also looked at how it is installed. And it's 8 or 10 volts, that's it.
yeah, well, that's the same with our
If I
bike
get
rack.
the information for you, I can put it on paper with the sizes of the bike rack, how it looks like, the
Okay.
repair station, and then we can pass it on. I can prepare that for the next, for their next town board meeting, which is August 8th.
What I wouldn't
Okay,
do
I'll do that.
is, I would go to the coalition and say, which is, that they probably have a certain time that they're buying, or a certain place they're coming from. And I would say, this is what it is, and I would not be looking to change what they're gonna put forward. If they want something different other than what they're willing to donate, then the town is gonna have to take care of it. That's-
Oh, definitely. They-
Yeah,
They've
yeah.
already been made by students and they're done. So yeah, there wouldn't be any changing them.
And
So
I'd make that real clear.
Yeah.
This is what you're getting.
we can do that. And then the bike repair station, that can come later. That would have to be a grant that we'd have to, pursue, which we can do.
But we need to think
But we
and how,
can-
how they
we-
look like and the
Exactly,
size, and then
Exactly. We can get a picture.
include it in the space where the bike rack
Does
goes.
Berkey or game time, you already have them telling game time, telling us. Yeah, do they have a bike repair station, or do you have another source?
Probably other sources.
Okay.
But they're everywhere. The county has one and then, Troy just put one in at Glover. So they
Yeah,
have
no, I
one.
was telling you, I meant from where to.
Yeah, I know. So, okay, so we will do that for the next meeting.
Okay.
Okay, anything else from the meeting?
No.
Okay, ball field updates. I don't think there's anything else new. And then review budget sheets. If you guys want to look at the budget sheets. Dan and I noticed that there's an extra $850 from Blade Runner. So Dan's gonna check on that with Terry. There's the one up on top, but then there's also another one at the bottom.
We think they had to
So-
reissue a check because they didn't receive the check from last month. So,
The one should be a boy.
Yeah. So, otherwise, it looks like they've gotten most of the things in.
Jack.
Actually says there's 2 different invoice numbers on them though.
On the town hall park, the 10,088, is that 10,000 the tulip park, the?
Yeah, it must be.
Because I looked in the checks paid off, but there was no $10,000.
That would have been last month,
Okay.
because that one was already in there.
What
So
was
when,
it?
then where's the? Todd,
God, for the finish up the.
and then there's playground
one
equip,
thing's,
up above is the playground equipment ramp, the $29.95, that's the plants and.
Yeah.
Plants and other stuff that we've needed so far. What else did I see?
Playground equipment. 2,995, what is that?
that's what I'm thinking was the plants and such
The plan,
for you.
Because
Does
here
that make
is-
sense?
oh yeah, I see here, when you put disclosed here. So one thing is, curtains, when we went over there, you remember?
Mhm.
So that was 2016, which was split in two.
Yep.
What the credit card had from the town and then what I paid out of my own pocket. And so they
Yep.
reimbursed that to me.
Yep, so,
And there's to my excavating the straw, $37, that's correct.
oh, I know the preserve, she's got the 1,061. And so I think that's the signs and Tuma's work. But I wanted the signs under signage. But we can just decide that later. I don't know that
Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
big deal at
Okay.
this point. Anything else?
Budget, we still have income from your impact fees.
Do we still have what?
Get any impact fees yet?
We do, it's not very much. I think it was 1,500. Oh, the last time you told me.
Okay.
Yeah, because they used it last year. They used it last year in the budget. They used what we had last year.
Getting increases of the building.
Yeah, yeah,
There should
I
be
haven't
more money
asked.
coming- There should be more money coming in,
Yeah,
so that line item should be increasing.
yeah, I haven't asked. I kind of wish I would just get that, but
Let's go to the,
And you did
I could-
the bank balances,
Oh.
on that last, it used to be a separate sheet.
They're not itemized at all, so I don't know the exact amount that how it's broken out, so.
Cause it's called out on that one.
But it's not gonna be a lot of money.
No.
Either way.
no, 'cause I mean,
regardless
the
of-
last time, when Lori told me, that was a few months ago, I guess, when it was 1,500. Okay. Business, discuss volunteer opportunity. I moved the volunteer opportunities to, under each park. Because that's kind of how we end up doing it anyway, and no one's here to discuss it individually. So I just moved it down. So, the first town hall park is, if Town Hall Park, the first park, I should say.
yeah.
Um,
So, shall I comment about that?
Retention pond discussion?
Well, in general, first, I went to my daughter was here, so I showed her about the rain garden, what we're planning to do and so on. And we received a nice comment, and I wanted you to know because we have been doing all this work. There came a couple to me and they say, talking to my daughter to me, did you guys design the park? And I said, well, it was a committee, it was a teamwork from our park committee. Well, this is the nicest park we have seen around here. They're so happy and they really like it. So that was a positive thing.
That's very nice.
Then during the meeting, in the town board meeting, then they had some complaints. And the complaints were that the children, some kids, they take the stones and they throw stones from the dry riverbed. And what can we do about that? Because they're worried that there's going to be build a building and if they throw stones. First,
They're gonna
there
throw
were
them-
some stones in the grass where they have to mow. They're
Mhm.
some decent size. And also they could throw them against the windows in the building. So what we can do about that? So at that moment, I thought there's some kind of sand which we can put, so the stones, you cannot remove them, they stay fixed. That's what you use between the pavers. But then I've been thinking even more, because that could be a solution for the buildings, for the new, the windows for the new building, is if we plant some rose shrubs all around there, they're prickly, the kids will not go in and they can cave the stones. So that's a natural barrier, so they cannot go in if that continues to happen. But then
I was just gonna say that, was this a one-time thing?
That's, Dan, you know,
know?
was it a one-time thing or was it more often?
We don't know how often, just when Blade Runner showed up, there were rocks there. We don't know if it happened one time or multiple times. It just, who knows?
So what we can do, we can observe it if it happens again, and we're going to be maybe doing some work here to see if we can see stones. And ask if somebody around, if they see it's doing that. And then based on that, make a decision how we deal with that.
I have a question. What we used to do at the Parks Department with something like this is we just contact all the groups that use the area and let them know what's happening on, so everybody's in the know. I can call Zach and have him make an announcement at their next fire meeting, because there are a lot of unsupervised children during the fire meeting, I've noticed. I've been over here a couple times on Monday nights when they have their meetings. And so not that I know if they're doing it or not, but just to say, can you mention it to the people and to the kids and
Yeah.
just, you know, whatever. And then we can also talk to the ball teams and just say, hey, we're having a problem here. Please tell people not to throw the stones or whatever. I think once everybody's alerted to the fact, then if an adult sees them, they could say, hey, knock it off and, you know, put
Yeah.
the stones back. We don't do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we try to be a little bit more proactive and
Yep.
just contact all the groups and say, hey, we're developing a little problem here. We want to kind of nip it in the bud and,
Right in the beginning, yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
But that was the comment, so it was a nice comment and another one which we have to. Your idea is a good idea, I think so.
So do you want me to let sandpipers know?
yeah, if you'll do that, I have to call Zach anyway, because we're gonna talk about signs, so I'll mention it to him and see if he can mention it to the group.
Did you
Okay.
say you're gonna let sandpipers know?
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
I have a comment too when you're ready.
Okay.
So I can understand where if rocks show up in the grass and you're mowing, that is probably one more layer of things to watch out for when you're here to mow. But, on a second note, on the reference to, first of all, in order for the building to be damaged, the kids would have to take the rocks and go to the effort to walk over to the building to be able to
Yeah.
throw them at the building. And I think another interesting thing would be that is worth knowing, or at least I'm just gonna say it's worth knowing. There's an enormous amount of bulletproof glass in that building. And I don't think, yes, it could be, if they're throwing it at the side of the building, yes, it could probably, the biggest damage is denting the siding as far as breaking impact to the windows. It's gonna take a lot to be able to break out those double pane high density
Yeah.
windows. So it just is, the practicality of that being the problem. Your biggest problem is, I would say, the maintenance of the lawn, and when you've got rocks on the sidewalk that they can roll and stuff like that, and probably to the other kids and
Yeah,
the
and
other kids that would be on the playground that aren't related to the ones throwing rocks would probably be the bigger problem.
yeah, well,
ki-
I
and
would say,
children-
I would
and
say
children-
kids hurting other kids or hitting other kids to me.
Yeah,
is
and children
more of a
throw
problem.
rocks.
Yes, so, okay,
So
thanks.
also, I did call today, talk to him because he asked me, he was there at the meeting and it was approved the $2,000 for the rain garden. And then he asked me, well, shall we start the next week? It was this week, and I said, well, this week I'm not able, but next week, yes. So today I called him again, and say, are you still able to do the work next week? Because we have a meeting and we'd like to plan ahead for volunteers to plant the plants once that is installed. And he said, yes, he will do it this week. So next coming weeks after, yeah. No,
He's available.
he's available, he will come in. I will go to his place because he has the big rocks, and together with him, I will choose the rock. He will bring them here, and then there will be a day that he will come with machinery and place them, and then I and other people who wants to be there to see it, because that is a moment that you need some eyes, see where the things look best. It has to look natural, not that you just throw things here, otherwise it looks like.
What dates you're thinking?
Well, we
Yeah,
have to
so,
just,
so I talked to the main volunteers that have helped us other than us, and they all, no one could be here tonight, but they all said they'd be pretty available, just to let them know
so would it be more on a weekend for them or
No.
during the week?
during the week.
Okay, well, then when Todd can come he will let me know, then I will let you know, and then it will take a day, maybe a day and a half for him to prepare before we have the planting. Maybe Kyle, we can go next week and get the plants, like same procedure as we did last time.
Yep.
And they can be at your place until they're ready to plant, because it was handy to have them, when the people is there, we can plant them in there. Okay, so that is the plan then for next week.
So did Mr. Toomas say how much it's gonna cost to move?
He
the
gave
rocks?
us, yeah, I got an estimate
Okay.
from him, $1,000
Okay,
is for the work, and then we need a little bit more stone, which he said $200, and I created for the town board. The town board had the estimate, the written estimate, like Dan gave us a good tip on that. And then I had a list with all the plans and the costs, so if you want, I can pass it on, that's the one.
yeah.
The two pages.
I've already
Did I
seen
send
this.
that to you guys?
So the-
Yeah, well, I've
Well,
seen
maybe I
it, but
didn't.
So the
Those are
plant
the plants.
material was $619, $200 for the extra little round stones. And then the labor for him is $1,000.
you said 600 for the small stones?
No,
Oh.
600 for all the plants.
Oh, okay, 619, okay.
We'll get this curtains.
So Nina, Kyle and I are gonna be gone Wednesday through Friday. But,
So Monday or Tuesday.
but we're available Monday and Tuesday,
Next week I'm available,
so,
I'm flexible any day.
and I
So
guess
if
we'll be
you
done
want,
Friday.
Yeah, I can prepare and put the order in, and then we can maybe go there Monday and get it.
Okay. And the next week, we're pretty available. We're not going out of. So we won't set up anything right now. You'll just.
No,
have it
we're
go with
waiting
Todd and
when
then-
Todd is coming.
Okay, okay, and then I'll let everyone else know.
On the town hall park, Nina and I did some brushing down there. And is there a place I can move the brush to now?
Yeah, well, would Kyle want, come and
If I could
get
see
it?
where it is, I mean, I can,
No, but I mean, I can move it, but where do I put it?
well, I have areas where I can just mulch it up in my property.
Oh, is that right? Cause I used to put it, when I picked it up at the Birch Lake parking lot or elsewhere, I put it up in the town hall. And I've also burned it myself, and I've also hauled it to,
Yeah, I probably
actually-
wouldn't burn it, I would probably grind it up.
yeah.
So talk to Kyle. You and Kyle can figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah, but
I've got it out there and I can deal with it, whatever way you want.
Kyle and Mark, Puma came to my house to clear my driveway from brush. And they came with 3 trucks to remove brush, and asked, where do you bring that? There's in Somerset, there's a public place where you can drop off green material, and it's called all excavation.
Yeah, that's
something.
where I bring this stuff.
Yeah.
And I
and
do
it's-
have a
it-
dump trailer.
Apparently
You can
it's
do that.
free, it's free.
Yeah,
So if we need to drop it, Somerset is not too far away.
Okay.
So,
That
that's
works
all.
good.
and as far as Mike Marty, did he give a complaint to somebody on the town board, or how'd that work?
On the rock thing?
He
Yeah.
must have. Yeah, I didn't know.
I was wondering how, do we ever get to it or see it, or?
It was, an email from Blade Runner.
Yeah,
That was the complaint.
because we have dealt with Mike before on different things. In fact, we review his contract and send it on to the town hall. And I do think that Mike should probably send the email to the park board too when it concerns us. Sure,
He's been, the last few years, they just go right to the board.
I
He
know.
hasn't come to us.
but don't you think, what are your
But yeah, well,
thoughts,
usually
Dan?
I hear about them, or usually I do get the emails, but I didn't see that one.
one more thing, Mark, we have all this brush to remove. But after that, when you left, I started to clean the weeds from on where the mats are.
Yeah.
It's very heavy with mats, and I think if tomorrow morning, which is cool, somebody can help me, I'm going back there and pull the weeds now, because if we do it now, they're easy to pull out. The root system is still small, so they come through the holes. Some are a little bit more difficult, but they come and they don't stay in there. So we remove that now, so it's nice, and then later, maybe one more time, and eventually we'll cover up. The grasses are coming through, the ones we want. But it would be nice if somebody wants to help me tomorrow or after tomorrow in the morning. And I think in a couple of hours, we have it clean there.
What time were you going to do it?
8:30, it's fine.
I can meet you at 8:30
Yeah.
there. I pulled a bunch out too and they pull out easy, right?
Yeah, they go easy. It has rained so much, so it is long roots you can get out. It's nice. It's now's the moment. to do it.
Where did you say?
Right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, here by the playground. I did between the slides, but we still have to do on the sides.
Okay.
We can, I can come
Yep.
at 8:30.
Maybe.
Kyle probably can. so.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so retention pond, so that it got approved, you have everything,
I will
Ready.
stay on top of that. Yeah,
okay.
Stay in touch with you.
Discuss kiosk updates, but we don't need to do that yet. And any other work needed this year, we talked about that. Volunteer opportunities, the rain garden, trail maintenance, and buckthorn removal. But right now it's rain garden.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, anything else?
No?
in the
that's
town
okay.
hall? Town hall Prairie Trail signage location may need to move signs with the starts of the new building, which I guess that's been started.
It started, I have not walked, I can do it tomorrow, walked where the trails end up here, because
Okay.
there should be a way that when people go all the way around and they arrive here to construction, so they have a way to get out here and not have to do the whole loop back. So that is one way to, at least that part here, they should be able to come out.
Okay,
I hope
well,
so.
let's look at that tomorrow.
Yeah, I will look at that tomorrow.
Okay, nature preserve. Discuss road signage, follow up from the board meeting. Was there any discussion on that
No.
Okay. Discuss the fence issue order. Anything, did that come up at all? I mean, it's been done, the signs have been put
Yeah,
up.
I have it up, no more
Was there any
comments.
discussion on that at the board meeting?
No. Only comment that it works.
Yeah, we just said that
That's
the
been done.
signs were there,
Okay,
that they were put up, yeah.
Has anybody heard from any of the neighbors at all?
Well, I had been talking to him when I was out there doing it, but, and they seem fine.
and they were happy with the.
Yeah,
trail?
the one, I don't remember the names real well, but the
Which one?
one owner, he wanted to know if he could put up a couple signs himself, and I dropped him off at his property, and he said he was gonna put up his own, but
Bill, that was Bill Murphy.
Is that on the east side or the west side?
northwest, southwest. Over by the pond.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, I haven't heard anything, and Teresa hasn't said anything about hearing from the DNR. I imagine I'll hear that. Here when she does hear, but it should be pretty soon, should be this month, yeah. So yes, that should be good. Oh, and I was starting to say, you said that the owners said they were happy with the trail changes.
Yeah,
that
I
we
talked
made.
to the other one too on also on the west side. But it'd be in the northwest, and he was really happy with what we had done, so.
You're supposed with all the rain, when you redirect, that the old one's still in probably.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
and I was. You know, when I was taking some brush down, I kind of blocked the trail on some of them, so it's like, it was obvious. You couldn't,
natural.
you couldn't go through there, so I think that's working. Real well, so.
We need to get out there, because I'm sure it's just beautiful right now. I'm
Yeah,
sure
and
everything
this
is
is being
buttoned
all
out,
green.
so-
Yeah.
And the trail might, like, I mean, you've mowed it. I don't know if-
Yeah, I think it's okay for a little bit, but it won't be too long. They'll need another mowing, but.
Okay, I did send Teresa the signage information back to the road signage, because she had asked for it. She said she didn't have it, but she did have it. I just forwarded the email. And I said just to have, and that we will discuss this again.
Yeah.
And then I did ask for, because we talked about this last month, for a quote for the signs.
Yeah, what I do think, I get a feeling that every time they think that we wanted 4 signs by the park plus 2 on the county road.
Yeah,
And eventually we had said, no, at least the 2 by
This
the
is just
park,
the 2
that's all.
signs. Yep.
So if you send us in it, that's for 2, so they are aware that they only want to have 2.
Yeah.
for-
so I'll keep it on the,
Yeah.
agenda, and keep
Yeah.
talking about it. Anything else at the preserve? Trail
Well-
maintenance,
Yeah, the only thing I would mention is the benches that I've been talking to Mike a little bit about that. I want him to kind of think about it and what he wants, if he has some ideas, because I have
Okay.
the benches, the slabs. Haven't done anything to them. They're just stacked up, but
So you're just trying to decide like what kind of sealant to put on them or?
not even that, no, how to mount them,
To do it.
Oh, okay.
because it's just a slab, so they have to be on something. So anyway, we can,
Okay. So, are you gonna put a sealant on them?
Yes.
probably some kind of oil-based
Okay.
thing that we can just keep reapplying, so it doesn't.
I was just saying, cause we had a bunch of trees go down and up north and we put them out, and made little benches and stuff and. Yeah, they're gone now, cause they like just rotted away, so we should have sealed.
Yeah, no,
They're
No.
back into nature.
The cycle.
Okay, Perch Lake launch area and parking lot, discuss volunteer work needed. So we already talked about a little bit about Perch Lake and that the signs are coming up. And I know for volunteer work, we need to clean up the parking lot and steps area full.
Yeah, there's some weeds in there.
Yeah, I was down there yesterday. With a worker I have, we had a couple of weed whips and we went around the whole thing. and
You did?
And did the steps.
Oh, you did?
Great,
Yeah.
thank you.
Oh, yeah, thank you, Mark.
Mark, you're awesome.
Well, I've been circling around lately, except on weekends for Perch Lake.
Oh, yes,
Then he's in mine on getting.
Yeah. Thielen Cemetery, we need to set up a work date. I talked to Lori a little bit about it and I wanted to wait and hear about the retention pond first because I know that we're gonna have to be doing that, but
Yeah.
what we do need to set up a work date soon for Thielen Cemetery. Have you been out there, Lori? How does it look?
It's about the same. I wouldn't, there's no big changes as far as what it's gonna be, what you're gonna do once you get out there.
Yeah,
Can we do it beginning of August?
It's just,
I just don't want to forget about it because like
Yeah.
last year we didn't get it done. Would early August be okay? Okay. I'll put that down. A Highway 35 rest area, recently mowed, discuss any other work needed. Kyle, did you want to say anything on that?
Well, I drove by it, it looked nice yet, I mean, it still looks mowed, I mean, it's not like, it was really tall when I mowed it. Knocked it down, so that actually gives it cover and, whatever, so.
wildlife like it.
Yeah, so I'll
yeah.
hit it again later this summer. And that'll probably be good for that park,
Yeah, I think as long as you're keeping it knocked down, that's the
Yeah.
key right now.
right?
So I drove by today and I noticed that there's another big dead tree kind of on towards the bank.
I mean, past where I mow,
Yeah,
yeah, so
is it something that we deal with or we just wait till it comes down?
I think like
Okay.
nature.
All
I
right,
think that when they're doing the fancy things on forest management, those are called wildlife trees. And they
Oh.
put big W's on them, so you don't cut them down.
Oh,
So
Okay.
that's your, that's.
And your woodpeckers like them.
yeah.
okay,
Nice solution to this thing.
yeah, definitely. Bike and pedestrian facilities. Discuss TAP grant 2026 or 2028. Discuss Stantec's proposal for $58,000 feasibility study that's needed to be done prior to the next TAP grant. I re-listened to the board meeting when this was all discussed so that I could get all that down. They did discuss maybe a work session. I think we did, or someone discuss having a work session to discuss this. And then I also put down to discuss the budget for 2025, 2026, because that's where we would have to plan for this. The next TAP grant cycle is 2026, and so submission for that would need to be completed by November 2025. So we would have to budget next year to have it done next year.
Janet, are you clear on what you get for $58,000 for a feasibility study? And we recently did a feasibility study. And
Yeah.
I question, why would we be, what do we
No.
expect to achieve to come out? What would be the goal or the result that you are expecting to see when the feasibility study is finished for what you don't already have?
The only.
And where do you need that in regard to your TAP grant? I
What-
think those are valid questions.
What I know mostly from that is the discussion with the DOT is included in that, or I think before we could have the discussion with the DOT, we needed to know. If that's how one, the DOT would need to have this feasibility study done before any discussion on the right of way with them. But I don't know what that entails.
Is that the feasibility study, is that, it has a timeline? Does it have to?
Oh,
be from
does it
that year,
sunset?
Or if it was a year before done, is it still valid or not?
Yeah.
Well, I
When
would
would that
think Lee would have
expire?
said that. He said this is what they would have to do, but
Which I don't understand because that was heavily studied as a part of the whole, I always want to call it Thielen Farm Road, but it's not, whatever the name of.
yeah.
Can-
What is that called?
I think it's a good question. I was gonna ask if somebody offline would want to get me up to speed with some of these things, if, especially if I'm gonna help with grants a little bit, but it's a good question that I can't imagine why a feasibility study of this nature, because you're talking about trails that are changing, right? We're not in a, like, maybe there's a much less cost to just update if needed. You know, a cursory review of, yep, what we did in 2015 or whenever the last time it was done is still accurate versus a start from scratch.
So
If the DOT requires it to be updated, and I don't know where those questions are. You know, go ahead, I think you're asking a good question.
Did Stantec do it the other thing?
Yeah, and I think it warrants asking, for the DOT to see a written document of what these DOT requirements are and what we're trying to do. Because it was the DOT that supposedly was the stumbling block. And that before, and then we went through that, and then now it just kind of, you have a gap in there, and now it's back that the DOT wants this or that. Well, present the documentation. So that we can, so you can have a discussion and you know what it is you're up against.
For the pattern.
Specifically what it is, but there's 2 communities involved in this or 3. So somewhere this is already laid out on what you can and cannot do, and you know, what your footprint, all that's gotta be there.
Well, we went through 4 TAP grant cycles, or at least 3. We did, we spent $25,000 on different studies on how to do this. This is almost insulting. The procedure we were supposed to follow 1.5 years ago, when we decided to turn down the TAP grant study and proceed forward.
Right.
We haven't done the procedures we talked about, which was 1, notify the landowners if they wanted us to do on the property, and then proceed forward with consulting with the Department of Transportation if they were interested in giving us the right of way. I do need,
And I haven't said,
Wait,
I
do you-
never saw
So
your
Mark, that's
documentation.
Probably part of this 58,000 is that. Cause
There's
Stantec
a-
knows that's what needs to be done.
Some of that is either already been done, or it's just a matter of, I can't believe that we have to have a $375,000 or $375 an hour engineer doing our correspondence with these people. Should be able to have a sit down. Say, this is what we need from you, this is why we need it, and go forward with it.
So we need the DOT requirements, maybe the TAP requirements, and even what the Stantec's proposal included.
Any
right, as a
past
baseline.
past
And then
documentation.
past documentation, and I don't know.
And you need your documentation from, if there is any written documentation from those declining homeowners, which was within their right and well understood, and it was accepted by all of us that was their right, and they provided that so we can go forward to the next step, and they were out of the picture. It was a principal point that had to be met to
Yeah, we had to get to a certain degree before we even did a study, but we didn't do that.
And then on Somerset, they already know how they would connect once that connection is there. So
I want to forget about this for a couple of months and just do brushing.
there you go.
And keep what?
Then just do brushing.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, it's gonna be a lot of work and we're gonna have to come up with a lot of money before we even get to the submission. Which,
Who is the lead, Janet, on the bike pedestrian trail of our? group
Of us?
here? Yeah. Is there one? Or
I
you-
don't really have a, probably Mark, and I, Mark, me and
He's looking
Kyle.
at me like-
I'd like it to be Mark.
I just think the time isn't right in the place right now. I'm kind of irritated with Stan Tech. I do think between Stan Tech and Teresa, they throw the ball back and forth on what people want to. I think we need to look at that over again. I don't mind bringing this up in September after I study it for a while.
Sure.
And dig through all the TAP grant proposals we've done.
I don't see
Yeah,
the
and I
focus.
have a summary of that I can send out. I'll send it to all of you because I have
And-
that.
And I think if you could do that, and I think it's a good point to come back at September, but quite frankly, my observation is the only focus right now is that.
On that.
And that the money, the concentration, any of the resources, that's the only thing that anyone's got on their plate and that they're thinking about. They're not looking into 25 or 26. They're going week by week on that.
No,
project.
and even at the meeting and at the board meeting, the last time this was discussed, they did talk about 2028. You know, that this is probably gonna be something more for 2028 than 2026. But we need to, it's gotta come from us, so.
And even if that's fine if you wanna do 2028, but it comes back down to what is the punch list? And when is the start date? And how much can you get now? 2 years goes by really, really fast when you're trying to get that kind of money and organize a project of that significance and that magnitude.
Yep, yes, yeah, well,
And is Stan Tech the
I have
only
it here.
people that can do this for the
No,
township?
you can't. No, as a matter of fact, Western Central Wisconsin is a very big one in this player.
and
And-
they did one, I think our first TAP grant.
And I'd have to do some thinking on it, but there's another name that you're familiar with that is
What-
in on these connections and desirable for the trails because that's their expertise and their focus is how to get the job done for municipalities.
Is there somebody that we're using, like say in City of Hudson or Somerset, that's got, and we're the connection in between? Do
We wouldn't
want to
have,
use the same, or
well,
do
you
we
can
want-
probably answer, we wouldn't have any connection with the city of Hudson. I would think
No, but
St.
it-
Croix
it's-
County.
what we're proposing and what we've, what the TAP grant, it starts right from the loop trail.
It starts
in
from
the
the trail
town.
and it doesn't connect with the City of Hudson Trail?
No.
No.
North
Okay,
Hudson.
that's what I was wondering. Okay.
Or
ours
ours
goes
goes-
down.
It goes to.
Ours is
Somerset.
going this way, running right along 64.
Okay.
Just a step
Yeah,
back.
I need the background.
Is, the reason it doesn't connect with Hudson is because those are county roads, county and state.
Thank you.
Okay,
So
because Hudson's now building those out of North Hudson, as you see right now. coming
That's
out,
the
But that's
county.
gonna go to the new park, right?
Yep.
And there's
that's
gonna be
when the
nothing
River
from
State Park.
the new, no, well, it's gonna, I think
Oh,
it's gonna go out of
Eckerd.
Bluffs. right?
Eckerd, yes,
Yeah.
you're right.
They
But-
have steps, like 3 different phases to it.
Yeah.
And
They
they, yep,
want to get to the loop.
Okay, so eventually there'll be a connection from Eckerd to the loop, and that's not us, though? No. No, okay, thank you. Again, maybe offline, somebody could give me up to speed on.
Okay.
these.
Yeah, the blessings you're looking for is it the town of Somerset or Village of Somerset?
Township of Somerset.
Town of Somerset, and then you'd want St. Croix County to have a resolution of support saying that this is, because that's part of that connection is part of the bigger plan for St. Croix County.
Thank you.
and so, and the.
And it'd
TAP
probably be
grant-
good for Stillwater too.
Pardon?
It'd probably be good for Stillwater.
Oh, it
too.
will be good for
Oh, yeah,
Stillwater.
for sure, with the loop.
The TAP grant is 80-20, so the TAP grant would pay for 80% and we have to come up with the 20%, which is still a lot of money. And that we can apply for grants and other things too, so, but we have to I have to be ahead of the game to do all that. So, okay, we weren't the last time it was awarded, we didn't have something set up. So, so I'll send you some of the information that we have on that, and we'll just keep, discussing this, and I'll keep it on the agenda. Anything else? Number 3, Fall Festival 2024.
I don't have much on that. I haven't had time the last couple of weeks. I've been busy with some family things, but, I just have to, well, we did decide that it was 8 AM time wise, was 8
Oh.
AM to noon.
Okay,
I talked to Zach about that. Also, I'm gonna be meeting with him as far as he wants to do the signs together, so, I'll be meeting with him to decide what we're gonna do and then bring it back here. And, I still have to get a hold of the greenhouse. And what else? Oh, Sally Casperson said that she would help with the committee too, so
oh, great.
I just have to just buckle down and do it.
Okay,
Been busy here, sorry.
nope, no problem. There's
We'll get her
your
done.
time. And then I did send out that the budget line item that we were discussing last week for that or last month for the 1,500 is for that. You would have known that. 'Cause I kept saying that. I remembered you at the budget meeting saying that we wanted money for the Fall Festival. So it is for that. I looked back
Okay,
at my
okay,
notes.
thanks.
Pat, one question, I can't remember if that got resolved last time. Do we know if the pancake breakfast is not starting until 8? Because did we think about having the vendors
So,
start at the
from
same
what I
time?
understand, he said the pancake breakfast was 8 to 10. I asked him if he wanted to change his hours or anything. And then we would do the other booths and stuff and for activities from 8 to noon. So, people go in at 8 o'clock, so we've got probably a half hour there that we could get all set up and ready to go by the time they come out of the pancake breakfast. But we'll,
It's overlapping. Great, thank you.
Okay, anything else? Yeah, thank you very
Not
much.
this time.
Review annual work plan. I sent all of you the link. Did anyone either look at it or have any questions on it? Did you look at it?
I just briefly, I will be honest, but it was a short 3 weeks since last meeting. I needed that extra week.
And no
busy.
big deal whatsoever. I'm anxious to see all the corrections you make. Number 5, grant information. I don't have anything update,
I know my name from last meeting notes is volunteer to help. So probably, I've looked at what documentation you have. I've done a little bit of research about maybe what I could add there. Similar to the bike, I probably need just an offline meeting with someone like expectations or timelines or kind of what's biggest priority for us. And that could get me focused a little bit on either finding
Okay.
or at least isolating. Here's the ones that seem most relevant for us. Which ones do we want to go after? Whether or not I'm the writer, I at least can help prioritize our timeline. But again, if you don't mind somebody.
Yep, I can
Kind of
do
get
that.
me, okay, thanks, Janet. I'll buy you a cup of coffee somewhere.
Yeah, okay. Okay, sounds good. I had. Before Kyle sent me, or should I just pass this around? I don't know if you can forward it.
It's just the Facebook. That's right.
Oh, it's Facebook? I'll just. That's what the bike racks.
Oh, okay.
These are ones that will.
Yeah, it shows the free.
Well, they're free. I mean, they're
So
both,
you just pass
we're
it down.
donating.
Okay.
you just need
And
to be
it's
volunteer.
2 bikes per rack.
It must, I know, I was gonna
Well,
ask
you
you
could go
that.
one on each side.
Yeah.
Probably,
Yeah, so yes. You could maybe do more, but,
So does that look like it's like a 4-foot
I
section?
mean,
Yeah.
they're not huge. I
No,
mean,
they're not that
They
big.
can be closer together.
Yeah.
Like I said, we could just line them up
How many of
in a
these will get
line
donated then?
to do 7.
Depends on the
or
space.
whatever.
Okay,
And
so
how many-
it's kind of as we need. Oh, cool.
And the
Oh,
space
cool.
needed would probably depend on which which way the orientation is on.
Provides these free of charge.
Right, right.
Puts them in.
How the bikes are gonna sit, yeah.
Yeah.
That's taking up a lot of space.
They're nice.
More than it needs to be.
Yeah, they could
Yeah.
be closer
They
together.
could be
yeah.
turned the other way and have a short.
Yeah,
stairs.
yeah.
Yeah, it would be just almost like the thing that goes like this.
Yeah, yeah. It's, and then just with the maintenance things, as many times as I've
Yeah,
used,
yeah,
had to
thanks,
use the
then
maintenance
beautiful.
tools for my bike, it is
Yeah.
a wonderful idea to have it there.
Yeah. I don't, Kyle, did you use it one yesterday or did it, you were just using it to set your bike on it on?
I just set my bike
Oh,
on there
okay.
because I was late, I'm being lazy. Wanna
We
lay
were
down.
biking down by Rochester on a trail and he had his bike sitting on it, but I didn't know if you
Um,
used it or not, so.
No, I've used them 2-3 times, which is came in really handy.
Yeah, yes. And then I was gonna say that the county, St. Croix County did get the TAP grant for phase 2 for them. Is it phase 2 that goes to Willow River? The trail that's gonna go to Willow River. They did get that TAP grant. of phase-
Great.
So,
That's
do
great.
you know, Kyle, is that phase 2 or phase 3?
That's 2.
Okay. Where's phase 3? Is that going up?
Phase 3
this way?
goes up to the loop trail.
Okay,
So phase 2, does it go to from Eckert to Willow?
Or does it go from Eckerd to Crawford Road?
well,
To truck.
what- to Chalk, I don't know I don't know exactly where their
Would
cutoff is.
somebody find that documentation and send that out as a follow-up? Because it has to be out there somewhere, right? These
I'm
phases
sure
that
the
are
county
approved.
does.
Yeah,
Yeah,
try it on
yeah.
the county website.
Right, okay, all right.
And I can send the email that we received from the bike
Oh,
coalition
awesome,
that
okay.
had.
That might
said
help
they've
bring
got
it in,
So,
okay.
yeah, that probably has it.
To, no,
Okay, email, bike,
it doesn't go down,
St. Croix County.
7 different things.
Okay. Anything else? Oh, good, we all good. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make that motion to adjourn.
Mark, okay, but I don't need it approved.
You don't need a second.
And the next meeting is August 21st. At 6 PM, and I think Nina's gonna go to the board meeting. I will not make the next board meeting either. We're going out of.
She asked if I could go. I'm not sure if I can make it. or not. I guess another thing going that night.
Okay,
I
The
don't want to
coalition
overnight
has
drive either,
meetings.
but,
I know. Well,
um,
okay, well, we can talk to her. About what?
Oh, we did,
Oh,
from, and basically they said that they can't do anything till December. They don't move any of the money till December. So we,
Yep, well, yeah, I guess that's what Dan said. Who else coming? Oh, no, Terry did, Terry. Oh, and I know I got those, Terry sent me an email.
That they said, you know,